Okay, folks, welcome to another, need the microphone, another Sunday night. And a lot going on over the weekend. I did a bunch of commentaries with regards to certain stocks. And one I picked out was the chart of CVE, which is, I was corrected in my pronunciation of the name. I think I said Cenovus. I'll still call it that. I got to go back to the correction. Hold back. How'd this guy pronounce it? Cenovus. If you're out there, I stand corrected. All right. So we have a lot going on in mergers and acquisitions this weekend. Dunkin' Donuts being bought out by Inspire Brands for $9 billion. Nice piece of coin. And Cenovus is buying Husky. These are Canadian. Hello to our friends up in Canada. Canadian natural gas and oil explorers. They're about to be the third largest energy company in Canada. And this comes on the heels of a couple of other recent mergers with, where is it? Noble Energy was bought out. Where is it? It's the third merger in the past couple of months. Maybe it's not in this article. No, here it is. So here's Conoco Resources. They were bought out by Conoco. Concho Resources were bought out by ConocoPhillips, and Chevron bought out Noble Energy. I hadn't heard about the Noble acquisition, but this is beginning to show signs of a trend in energy. And if nothing else, I think it's very, very bullish. It's the beginning of a sign of a consolidation in a large industry that is in dire need of consolidation. Cenovus is having a huge cash burn rate. So I think that stock will probably correct. I did a video on it earlier. I think they're going to drop down. I pointed out a couple of support levels, which I think might hold. Tomorrow, Husky Energy is probably going to spike up, not only on the acquisition, but there are a ton of shorts waiting to get squeezed in that name. So big day tomorrow for Cenovus and Husky shareholders. Let me say hello to everybody. Trader Isaac, hello. Hey, Franklin, yeah, I've been really busy. Trying to get some content out there. Larry, hello. With that full, it's not a goatee. It's a full beard. All right, so I don't know who Ronnie Dunn is. Hit it with some just from it. It's actually coming off. I grew it. It's like a protest beard for Sober October, which is coming to an end soon. But I decided I'm going to go as, for Halloween, either Charlton Heston in Moses, or the Ten Commandments, or the younger people won't know who this is, but Gabby Hayes, one of the two. But it's not a goatee. It's a full beard. You just can't see it. But it's coming off first week in November. WG Shaka, hello. Chuck, good to see you. Emilio, hello. Amerimigo. Joseph, Ben, Paul, Trisha, hello. Tom, the beard plays. I like it. Positive attitude. Nadia, hello. I got your message earlier. Ben, hello. All right, let's do this. Let's take a look at the futures action. You know, that's a good point, Nadia. I'm probably going to extend out until I get down to my desired weight class into November, sober October. I'll call it Dry-vember, although I am going to cheat on Halloween. So I'm going to put that out there. But I'm going to have to pay penance going into November. So maybe I will continue to grow. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm torn. All right, let's take a look at the futures action. All right, so we'll kick things off with the dollar, which is really at the precipice of a breakdown. But looking at a 4-hour chart, maybe we have a higher low forming here. We're down on the session. I can't wait to see oil right now. Hopefully oil's popping. All right, so the dollar down on the session, but threatening a pop-up higher here. Let's take a quick peek at crude oil, because crude was actually weak last week, but energy was okay. It had a good week. And if with the energy news, the acquisition news now becoming trend, and plus the Dunkin' Donuts news, if oil is up, I'm reluctant to touch the switch right now. I'll touch the icon. If oil is up, you can see energy go like this tomorrow. Let's check it out. Oil's down. And it's down over 0.75 of a percentage point. This is light sweet crude. Let's stick with commodities, going to copper. Copper, rough week last week. How's it doing so far? Up slightly off the highs. Silver, about flat. I think silver did better than gold last week in terms of technicals. All right. So no breakout. All I care about with silver is a breakout. That's it. We're long of it. I want to buy more of it. I'm not convinced yet that the bottom is in. Gold already down on the week, holding 1900. You don't want to see gold close down below 1900. RSI is very, very weak. We're breaking support right now. We're going to have to come back to this. I think that we may break 1900. Let's create an alert. I want to see if we break to new session lows. Okay. What else do we have? Let's stick with commodities right now. Corn, unbelievably strong. Do we already have a new weekly high? Yep. New weekly high already on corn. And a major, major breakout on corn prices at current if we close here. But there's no inflation. According to the Federal Reserve, we need the digital dollar now to spike inflation. I don't know why we need inflation, but there's no inflation per the Federal Reserve. I mean, take a look at the chart. Who would imagine that a staple of the North American diet is ripping through the ceiling, breaking out, yet there's no inflation? Go figure. Wheat. Where's wheat? We'll go with oats. It's in front of me. Oats looking good. Do I have wheat? Where's wheat? Oh boy, this is getting ready to rip. We're getting ready to go here. You're going to get a Bollinger Band squeeze on wheat very, very soon. Let's check out wheat on a weekly time frame. Beautiful setup here. Wheat's going higher. But there's no inflation. Trust Jay Powell. No inflation. Let's go to equities. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Bitcoin first. Bitcoin up a half percentage point, firmly above 13K. It's holding it. Let's check out a weekly chart. Major league breakout here on Bitcoin. Let's go to equity futures. S&P 500, which is behaving very well last week. Down, wow, we're really weak here. Very weak. Let's create an alert. Let's go to the S&P 500. Down nearly a half percentage point. So we have no deal. I don't know. If we don't break down to new session lows overnight, I think we may rally back by tomorrow morning. If we start to break down to new session lows versus Friday, that's a problem. NASDAQ 100. Down about a half percentage point. Let's circle back at the end of tonight's commentary, and we'll go through these again. It's very early. A lot can happen. Maybe we'll rally back. Maybe we'll sell off. We'll see. Pre-jag. Hey, Jason. I think the question Jason has is, why does Rocket Mortgage not get any love? That's a good question. I think it's because it's viewed as not as much of a bank stock, but more as a technology stock. That's my take on it. I'd have to run some charts and see the correlation between XLK and Rocket Mortgage, or the Tues and Rocket Mortgage, and the banking index versus Rocket Mortgage. I mean, last week, the banks did fairly well, Rocket Mortgage not so well. So you would think that it should do okay. Probably one of the fears also is that you have something just broke down. Gold just broke down to new session lows. One of the fears you have is that the 10-year yield is, we're just barely holding on to 1900. The 10-year yield might put a damper on mortgage demand. I think they're wrong. I think that what's going to happen for we just broke 1900. I think what's going to happen is that you're going to get a flood of new applications to try to lock in the interest rate right here, right now. We're going to rally off of this third standard deviation Bollinger Band, but I worry about a lower high and then a rollover. Let's go to, here we go. They're going to rally it back. Lower high probably, unless they can defend the 1900 mark. Frankly, I'm hoping for lower gold prices. So that way we could buy back our gold mining trade at a discount. So we'll come back to gold before we log off. Okay. All right. So either Gabby Hayes or Charlton Heston. I like the Charlton Heston. I don't think I'm old enough for Gabby Hayes yet. So, more to come on that one. Hey, Bob. Hey, Sam. How you doing, pal? Hey, Bob, with the new style beard. Sober October. This is my protest beard. No booze, no carbs. Down 10 pounds as of yesterday. Not in 1 month, though. Since the last week of September. Technically, I started Sober October back in the last week of September, so it's about a month now, and I'll finish out this month and go into next. I need to drop about another 5 pounds. I really need to get more disciplined with getting back to the gym. I hate that mask. I hate wearing a mask in the gym. I can't put words to that, how much I hate it. All right, so let's take some chart requests. I have a bunch to go over here. And I'll get through these. I'll try to take some from the audience. But I need to get to members first. Abbott Labs first up. Consolidation range. Buy a pair of rollerblades. I would break my neck, guaranteed. All right, so we're in a triangle formation on Abbott Labs. Big consolidation range here. Weekly chart. You know, before we go to a weekly chart, let's overlay some automated trend lines. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to do this. Sorry. This portion of Sunday Night Stock Charts Live is brought to you by our friends over at TrendSpider. Automated technical analysis at its finest. Automated trend lines. I use them all the time. Okay, so we're nowhere near resistance as identified by the algo. We do have a resistance level above right here. I don't think it's time to buy quite yet. I could be convinced otherwise by a weekly or a daily chart. We're kind of in no man's land. This is different. Here's the difference that automated trend lines make. Click of a button. There's a link below, 35% discount code. All right, so we have good support here. Rising support. We bounced off of it last week. Couldn't close positive. That tells me that we're probably going to pull back yet again on Abbott Labs. Daily chart. Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to overlay on this daily chart weekly support and resistance. It'll come up in dashed line chart. And there you have it. This is weekly support with daily resistance right above. You can't buy this stock right now. What I would do is I would do this. Oh boy, something else just went off. S&P 500 new lows. Gold is just off of session lows. Let's check out S&P 500. So much for mergers and acquisitions helping this weekend. All right, we'll circle back. Let's go back to Abbott Labs. All right, so what I would do is a create alert here. Touch, bounce. 1 hour candlestick. I want to get notified on close app. It even has spell check. Watch for an overshoot to the downside here and a reversal bar to close back above it. Similar to what it did back here on September the 21st, if you want to bring that chart up. We broke down below that support level. Remember, this is weekly support, rallied back to close above it. Not that it helped much. It broke down. But you're seeing quite a bit of volatility here. I'm not in love with this stock. Lower highs and lower lows. I think I would give this one a wide berth. I would show a lot of patience. If it closes down below this support level, it's going down to 106.88. If that breaks, it's coming all the way down here to 108.05. So I don't see any compelling reason right here, right now, to go rushing into Abbott Labs. I would wait on this one. And remember, it's a long-term monthly consolidation. You're going to get backing and filling. And now that the market's under a little bit of pressure, that would certainly influence my decision of as to whether or not I want to put on new risk right here, right now. Next chart up is Snap. The question is, by fellow member, I'm going to bring this up on my other monitor. Who requested this? Eric. Eric wants to know if we should short Snap. I did a video on it over the weekend. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm probably not going to get the opportunity now with the market rolling over. But yeah, if you take a look at a daily time frame here, we're above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We closed there. And when you take a look at RSI, we're at about 92 on RSI, nosebleed levels. Good earnings report. It's reflected in the share price. But this is unsustainable. This is not going to end well. When you overlay the weekly RSI in dash line, you can see that it as well is above 87. So very, very overbought, ripe for a pullback. Now, if the futures begin to level off overnight, they rally back. Maybe you have some Fed intervention overnight to avoid a crash. Don't doubt they'll do it. Not this close to the election. What will be 9 days out? Watch the 30-minute chart on Snap. Let's bring it up. And the reason why I say it is because it's very, very bullish. Now, were the futures up or flat at current, I would bet you a nickel that Snap would rally higher tomorrow. Now, it's questionable. So if we do gap up higher, what I would do is I would watch this upper band of resistance. I would create an alert at it. I want to know if we break through it, touch, or bounce. $15-minute time. You know what? I won't even go short a time frame. 5-minute. Another one just fired off. Small caps just broke down. New session lows. Wow. We're going to bounce here pretty soon. RSI is below 17. But I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies here. There's no safe haven in silver. Let's go to gold. Gold is now down over $6.50, and it's broken the 1900 mark. All right, we'll circle back to this. Let's go through the chart requests. All right, so if in fact we manage to rally tomorrow on Snap, I'd be looking to lean into the short side, scratching the itch. When you do these extreme overbought short trades, you can't go jumping in with both feet. And you need to nibble, scratch the itch, nibble, nibble, nibble. And then when you get that bearish reversal day, that's when you go in, or in a doji formation, a filled candlestick, anything that would imply that there's indecision at the top of a trading range, or just straight out bearish key reversal or bearish engulfing. But I would nibble at the top of that trading range, opening up a short trade on, here, let me share this. As a matter of fact, let me overlay daily trend line. They're not showing up here. Eric, I don't know if you're out there tonight, but I'm going to share this link with you. Just so you know those prices. Going back to the comments for a second. Trisha Charlton? Yeah, no doubt, right? That's a no-brainer. Sam, caught that. Larry, if banks are going higher, let's buy PFG, yield 5.15%. Let's see how we open up tomorrow, Larry. As a matter of fact, you know what? I want to go to bonds. I want to see if yields are rallying. Falcon, hi. Thank you for your hard work. You're welcome. I bought 3,000 shares of BVXV out of the halt. Took my eyes off it to go to work. 820. Not sure if I should. They halted the shares. SEC halt. We could check it out for you. I don't want to leave you hanging. But normally, have they restricted the stock from trading? I've been there, man. It's not a good feeling. We won't leave you hanging. We'll take a look at it. BVXV, right? BVXV. We'll take a look at it. Falcon. Corey, hey Bob, thanks for your help. You're welcome. I'm looking to buy into SOXL. At like 280. So that's the semi-long ETF. I don't like the semis. I'll bring it up. I don't like the semis. I think they had a bad week last week. I would be very, very careful. We'll take a look at it, though. I'll lay second eyes on it now that I know somebody's interested. And we'll take a look at it. 280 entry point. Stop at 270. We'll go over it. Eric, great. Oh, you got the link. Good. Hey, Eric. Thanks for the analysis. I opened an initial short position Friday. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you, man. Okay, let's VOC. Is that a tanker stock, Nadia? All right, that's Snap. Energy. Okay, I knew it was something in that line. All right. TSM, Taiwan Semi, right? Boom, not losing it. Okay. Let's pull back. Do what we normally do. Monthly time frame first. New monthly highs. Ascending wedge formation. A little bit of a fade. You've seen that for the past few months. A little bit of topping action, wicks, candle, topping tails. Weekly chart. I think you need to wait for a breakout here. 88.79. Daily chart. Good day on Friday. I think you could buy it here. But it's got to close above it. Well, let me create an alert. There we go. It's got to close above it. I don't even want a 10-minute. Give me an hour. If I could ask you folks, as I'm remembering it, I can't believe I'm remembering it. You guys usually remind me. If you could smash that like button, please. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithms. I would really appreciate it. So that's the deal. I would wait for the breakout here, a close above, let's call it 88.95. That would be a good long entry trade with a stop loss right down here. No more than, was the low here? 86.25 per share, thereabouts, because that would be a lower high and then a breakdown to a new lower low. We don't want that. VNM. Oh. So I'm watching a YouTube channel. I forget what it was, but they're out of India and they can't stand mainland China. And all they do is cheerlead the demise of the CCP. And they were talking about the fact that China is losing so much in terms of technical expertise to Vietnam. They're now building a wall across their frontier with Vietnam so that if you're a Chinese citizen, you can't go into Vietnam. Because they're building so many factories in Vietnam, there's a brain drain. You just had your I think it's the largest grocery chain in France. They had over 500 locations in China. They're not doing business. They're pulling out. They sold the whole operation to Alibaba. So Vietnam, love it. We've been saying that for a while now. Love it. Months now. It's the supply chain shift. We broke out. This is a monthly time frame. Broke out last month, retested this month, follow through to the upside. A lot of overhead supply here. We're at resistance. You can't buy it right now. I mean, if it breaks out above 1550 and closes there on a monthly time frame, it's game on. Weekly chart, we're right there. We could break through it this week. RSI in fuego. We've broken out on RSI. We have an indicator leading price performance looking really good. Daily chart. Beautiful breakout on Friday. We're through a volume shelf. Looks like, what is this? They got to change the font on here. It drives me crazy. Where do we close? 1544. I guess it's a 32. The 8s and the 3s look exactly alike to me in this font. All right, so 1532. If it pulls back and retests that support level, it looks pretty good. Let's bring up CVE really quick. So Vietnam, I love it. Love it. Okay, so you're welcome, Falcon. Hey, Will. We'll see how much time we have. I don't know if I can go over all of them. Give me your top two, okay? CVE. All right. So let's talk CVE. I did a video on this. I'm not going to spend all too much time on it. This is probably going to gap down tomorrow on a merger. You got it, Will. On a merger. Now, this sector's been beaten to death. It's a very well-run company. Double digits on return on equity. Very low debt. But this acquisition is going to load them up with debt, unfortunately. So I suspect we'll get a gap down on the shares. But I'll be looking for a trade here. A swing trade. And my primary entry point would be to see whether or not we hold $8.17. If that fails, we could head all the way back down here to the lows of March and then May. Weekly chart, let's see whether we have any support levels in between there. I mean, absent the news over the weekend, I mean, if you would have asked me on Friday before the news whether or not this stock looked good for a buy, I would have said sure. I mean, higher lows, orderly pullback, bouncing off of support, not 1 week, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4. Love it. Nice solid support, but I suspect we will gap down tomorrow. Let's see whether or not these support levels hold. If they do, I may step in the water here for short-term swing trade. If it fails, I'll show more patience waiting for one of these support levels to get hit, maybe down around this level at $2.88. I'm going to create an alert here. Now, if that fails to hold, which I wouldn't be a bit surprised, I'll hold up and I'll wait for this support level to get hit here. As a swing trade. All right. We'll worry about that later. We'll keep it active for the week. It may be there tomorrow morning. All right, so CVE. Interesting as a long trade off of critical support. Let them kill it. Let them kill it. Let them gap it down. Hammer it. Husky shares should do well tomorrow. Lots of shorts in that name. They're getting bought out, so they were going to go up anyway. But there's a big number of shorts in those names just waiting to get squeezed. But CVE, longer-term swing trade, allow it to come to us. And I won't buy it until it hits one or two of these support levels. SOXL. All right, so this is a leveraged ETF putting you long of the semi sector. Now, the semis have been leaders for quite some time, but they're showing a lot of weakness of late. Let's go to a monthly chart first. We have a possible double top on a monthly time frame. We're just barely holding on to support. Actually, we're down below it. We broke it. We couldn't hold this breakout point. So we're seeing a lot of selling as you saw last month. RSI is looking good, though. I'll say that. Weekly chart. We broke support last week. This is a breakout point failure. We broke out the week of October the 5th. Retest 1. Attempted retest 2. Failed. We're probably going lower here. You're looking for an entry point at 280. I think you could do better. So if you're dead set on doing this, I like 251. If I had to do it, if you said to me, pick a number, Bob, we're buying SOXL, where do you want to buy it? 251. That's where I would buy it. And look for a bounce off of that level. It represented resistance back here in December of 2019. It then acted as support once, support twice. Let's see whether or not it acts as support again. Daily chart. The daily chart looks good. I mean, would I buy it? No. The reason is that I think that they could quite possibly rally it and then roll it back over again. I think it's a risky trade. I wouldn't do it. I don't like tech. I especially don't like tech in a rising interest rate environment. We've seen that. You saw the 10-year yield last week rip up higher. We hit levels not seen since June of 2020. So be Be very careful with technology. I don't care if it's the XLK, the semis, whatever. Technology normally does not do well in a rising interest rate environment. And it did quite poorly last week relative to the rest of the market. All right, so that's SOXL. VOC. Very nice. It's a daily chart. Let's pull back. We like the monthly and weekly time frames to get a feel for where it has been, to identify where it might be going. Very nice. We have a undercut double bottom. What is that? What does that mean? We bottomed out here in March, rallied to a pivot point, pulled back, broke down below the March lows here in September, rallied back, held support. Now we're beginning to break out. Now, gold catching a bid. Dead cat bounce here on the S&Ps. The reason why I came here is to get a feel for where we're at current. We're going to come back to this. All right, so let's make the assumption that we open up flat tomorrow on the S&P 500. What I would want to see happen here in a perfect world is support to get retested. This would be a good support level to get retested at around $1.80 a share. It doesn't have to be on the penny, but it's got to hold that support level. So if we close down, if you buy at that support level and it breaks that support level, I would stop out. But it looks good. Take note of your RSI. Despite the fact that we put in a lower low in September, RSI never validated. It put in a higher low. So you had your indicator flashing a positive divergence relative to the share price. Always good to see. And there's your breakout. Remember we just spoke about looking for a retest of support? What do we do here? We broke out on RSI, pulled back, retested support, follow through last week. I think it's going up higher. Daily chart. A little bit of resistance up here at this volume shelf. $2.05. But I think it's going to go through it, especially with this mergers and acquisitions news coming out. It's becoming more and more steady. So I like VOC, looking good. All right, BVXV. Oof. What's the news here? Oh, so they halted shares on an announcement. So we don't have any SEC issues here. All right. Falcon, you're long of this stock at current, or you're looking to buy it? Thanks, Pre-Jack. Appreciate it. Yeah, it looks right. I think you're right, Pre-Jack. bad announcement, and they halted the shares. All right. Let's take a peek. So breathe if you're long. As long as it's not an SEC halt. With a situation like this, are you long of this stock? God damn, this is hard. This is why I don't like to buy individual pharma names. I only buy ETFs. Rarely do I buy an individual pharma name because of this. All right, so we have retraced all the way back down to prior lows. My guess is that we're going to bounce here fairly soon. It's only an assumption because I haven't done the analysis. So I don't know the gravity of the news. So what I'm saying here is purely gut instinct, not fact-based. I can only go by what the charts are telling me right now and what's happened in past history. Now, we did close last week down below a monthly support level. But the good news here is that we retraced all the way back down to very close to the lows of 2018, and then buyers stepped in. This is why I use monthly charts and weekly charts, because the past helps you identify the probability of where a stock might be going in the future. So if I were long right now, if I took this ride down, I'm not stopping out. I'm not selling my shares. Why? You're at a historical support level. I guess I'm going to go by the assumption he's still long. I'll take a look at it from another way, and would I buy it here right now? Maybe there's a trade to be had here. Let's go to a weekly chart. Trading down below its third standard deviation Bollinger Band in red. Where's my RSI? RSI still got a long way to fall. Daily chart. RSI at 16.66. I'm shocked that that's all it is. Intraday chart. Let's go to the 2-hour time frame. I wouldn't trade it. I mean, it's probably going to pop here. It's not oversold enough for me. I don't know what the short interest is. That would certainly influence me at this point. All right. There's no short data here. I don't know how many. The number of shares short on September the 30th. Okay. September the 30th, there's not enough short interest here. So there's no short squeeze potential. I would avoid. I don't see a trade here. Not one with any type of legs. It may pop up higher. Does it hold? I don't know. If I were long from this way down, I wouldn't sell it right now. At some point in time, there's going to be a counter trend rally, but right now I'd be in a position of looking for better opportunities if I had no exposure to the stock. So I don't see a trade. It'll pop soon, but I would be out quickly. Intel and Netflix. And I want to circle back to, I hope he hasn't replied back. I hope he wasn't long of this stock. I feel horrible. INTC. They got rocked the other day. Will, you looking to buy Intel? What's your game plan? I don't like the monthly chart. We have a bearish reversal month. We're putting in lower highs and lower lows. I mean, the trend is clear here. We're breaking down. If it's for an investment right now, I don't think it's investable at this point. For a trade, maybe. Let's go to a weekly chart. Here's what my concern is, Will, is that, we break down below the lows of the week of July the 27th. That's really a confirmation breakdown and a half. I mean, it's bad stuff. I wouldn't want to get in front of this until we get a bullish engulfing week off of historical support. We're not there yet. Maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be the price to watch down at $46 a share. But I see no compelling reason at this point in time to buy it as an investment or a longer term swing trade. Maybe there's a day trade. Let's do a deeper dive. I think if there's a short-term swing trade to be had here, we're coming down here. What is his number? We're coming down to, let's call it $47 per share. We'll round it up. Where do we close? 48.20. Not that far away. Watch and see whether or not it's able to close above that support level. If it's not, weak stocks tend to get weaker. So I would avoid. If it does hold it, especially if it overshoots to the downside, to put a 46 handle on it, then close back above at the end of the day, above 47, then you have a very, very short-term bottom. We did close down below or at the third standard deviation Bollinger Band on Friday. So I would be okay with a very short-term scalp in, out on a rally. But I don't think it's investable right now. And a horrible report they put out. I mean, every metric was bad. Margins, which is huge for semiconductors, were horrible. That would be my game plan with it. Let it come to you, man. Pick a number. Let it come to you. You're welcome, Will. Anytime. Netflix. We'll leave it off with Netflix, and then I'm going to go back to the futures. And for those folks just joining in, thank you for being here. If I could ask you to smash that like button, hit it really hard. Hit that like button, please. I'd appreciate it. Follow me on YouTube. I would appreciate that very, very much. Love having you. Nice group tonight. Netflix. Let's do the same. Monthly chart, and then we'll do a deeper dive. They've broken monthly support. The month isn't over yet. A lot could happen. Maybe it'll rally back for all I know. What do I know? But at current, we're down below support levels. We're breaking down. Big bearish reversal bar. I think it could very easily come down to 474 per share, if not lower. You can see I had a couple of alerts set up here, and they broke down. They didn't hold. Weekly time frame. Well, I think it's going lower. Even if we had up futures right now, I'd say the same thing. It wouldn't bias me one way or the other. I think that it's going lower. We had a very bearish candlestick last week. This is not the type of candlestick that you see that ends a sell-off. It's really the beginning of one, a middle of one. So I would wait for lower lows to get hit. 474 to 474.50. But ideally, I think that we're coming down to these support levels here, and that puts us in the low fours. So no compelling reason here to get long of Netflix. It'll probably pop early this week. It flashed a reversal bar on Friday, but I think that what we're going to do is we're going to rally. We're going to probably head up to 501 per share, get stalled out, roll back over. We're going to take out these lows. I wouldn't buy it. I would avoid it. And in fact, if we did rally up here, I would probably look to lean into the short side, probably using put options going out several months. Small size to the long side, Will? You're in on it, huh? If you're in on it, I'd be looking to book my profits at the 501.50 mark. If it fails to hold it, I would be out. I can only tell you what I would do. If we close above 501.50, then maybe you want to hold it, see whether or not it consolidates, and then makes a push up to prior resistance levels. Maybe you'll see a short squeeze, but I'm tending to doubt it. I'm not getting the warm and fuzzies about Netflix. Okay, that makes sense. Well, 500 makes sense. All right, let's circle back. Let's take a look at the futures. Have we bounced back at all? Have we broken down? Let's go to the dollar first. Dollar rallying. Now you know why gold is so weak. Gold, it's trying to come back, man, but we're down below, measurably now down below 1900. That's psychological support. Russell 2000, we bounced up higher. The question is, are we going to put in a lower high? I don't like this chart at all. Granted, it's a 5-minute chart, so let's get the 5-minute chart off here. We need to close back above by the open tomorrow, 1630. Because what this will have been is the second time in the past few days where we have recaptured the support level, gave it up, rallied back to recapture. Now we've given it up again. It's a breakout point failure, bull trap. We need to close back above that mark by tomorrow morning at the open. S&P 500. We're rallying off the lows of the session. Still down a 0.5 percentage point. I'm getting the feeling that we're going to see intervention overnight in the futures market. We're about 9 days out from the election. There's no way they're going to let this market fall apart. Not without a fight anyway. The NASDAQ, if they pump anything, it'll be the NASDAQ 100. That's their go-to future to bid up. And note how we're holding support on the NASDAQ 100. We're not breaking down here, unlike the S&P 500 and unlike the Russell 2000, both of which outperformed the NASDAQ 100 last week. Jerome is going to hit the buy button at 3 a.m. Yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. All right. Let's just leave off with oil here. And you know what? We'll take a look at Bitcoin as well. Oil really weak. Now we're down over 2%. We'll leave it off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up. Talk about relative strength. Firmly above 13,000. Looking good. So Bitcoin, strong. Let's take a look at a weekly chart of Bitcoin. Looking very good. Rock solid. And with that, folks, I'm going to ask you, please, again, smash that like button. And everyone have a profitable trading week and a great remainder of your Sunday. Thanks for spending time with me as well. I really do value it, and I appreciate you joining in. And have a great night. Take care.